Today, we finished checking the test review that's up on Canvas, and homework. We're going to go into the lesson. Today, we're going to be talking about the differences between credit cards and debit cards. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, so Miss Lytle has her two cards with her somewhere hidden. Where did they go? This is not working. Okay, so a debit card and a credit card look very similar. If you actually go through, if you take a peek at your parents' wallet and stuff like that, credit cards and debit cards look very much the same. Yes, I have different pictures on mine, but looking at the actual things on it, they look pretty much the same. Both of them say my bank name. Both of them have my my card number. They both have my name on it. They both have the chip. They both have magnetic strips on the back. Yeah, they both have expiration dates. There's numbers on the back. They look very much the same. The only difference is if you look really close, one just says Visa, one says Visa Debit. Okay, it's really, literally, pretty much the same thing. Okay, but the mechanics behind them are different. Okay, so with a debit card, that is linked to my
savings account.
Checkings account. Savings is I'm saving that money, so no, I'm not going to spend it. A credit card is attached. You can get credit cards with a lot of companies. Okay, you can get it through your bank, or you can get it through companies like Southwest Airlines or JCPenney or Costco. All these different companies offer credit cards, and they offer certain perks when you use it. Okay, and how a credit card works is that company is saying that they're going to pay your bill right then and there when you swipe it, but you are going to pay them back over time. You're going to pay them back at a later date. Okay, and so there are certain perks to this. Some people don't love credit cards, some people do, and I'm going to try my best to explain what is good about them and what's maybe not so good about them. Okay, so with a credit card, you are establishing credit, and now what is that? The best example I can use, and I might have mentioned it already, is Fun Food Friday. Okay, when you show up on Fun Food Friday, like last week or whenever we had the last Fun Food Friday, and you forget to ask your parents for cash, and then you're like, oh, I really want a piece of man though. Okay, until you find your best bud. Okay, and you're like, hey, yo, dude, can you spot me $5 or whatever so I can buy a slice? And sometimes they're like, okay, you've paid me back before, sure. Just bring me back the money on Monday, and yay, all is good. Then there's those other friends that you have, and you're like, bro, you owe me $40 from the last 2 times that you let me, you forgot, and you still haven't paid me back. And you're like, no. Okay? That is the kid version of establishing credit. You're establishing your likelihood, your reliability of paying that back. Okay? If you have good credit, you're going to pay them back. If you don't have good credit, you're building up debt and stuff like that. Okay? So that's basically what a credit card is, except it's bigger amounts of money. It's yes, okay? So when I set up a credit card with whatever company, do you think they're just going to let me have $10,000 right off the bat? No, okay? I have to establish that. They might say, okay, we'll give you $1,000 that you can spend, and you have to build up that trust. You have to pay me back. You use that money, and then you pay me back over time. Okay? Then after a few months, they might be like, oh, $1,500, $2,000, and you can build your way up. That's the different. You heard about black cards, ooh, rich people have black cards. It's they built up a lot of credit and reliability and stuff like that. No, this Vital has blue cards. Nice ones. Anyway. But yeah, so that's basically what a credit card is. And so we're going to be talking about what it means, what are advantages and disadvantages. So just looking at these definitions, which one is talking about a debit card?
First one.
Which pink? I don't know.
Purple.
Okay, sorry. How about in the future? Which one is paid in the future when you pay the bill? The credit card. And then which one is paid at the time of purchase? Debit. I'm going to rewrite that just so you can see. Yes. Yes. Fill this in. I'm rewriting it so you can actually read it. It is at the time of purchase. This is again for debit card. The money is removed from linked accounts. Okay. Give me a few seconds. You can pause if you need to. So Jamesy asked a good question. She said, do you have to pay it as soon as you get that bill, or can you pay it over time? And so what credit cards do is they have a minimum payment. Okay, so Miss Lytle, when she bought her last iPhone, okay, it's not the greatest, it's not the best, but I bought a new iPhone. And so I was wanting to establish credit. I was wanting to build that. And instead of using my debit card, which would take out the money right then and there, and I would feel a lot of pain just for like a little while because it's a big bill, I instead used my credit card. And so what I did is I said I promised Apple that I would pay them $100 each month until I was done paying it off. Okay, so credit cards usually, like, I think my minimum payment is $20 a month, but I was like, bro, I don't want to do that for like 6 years paying off an iPhone. Okay, I wanted to do it over time, but not a ridiculous amount of time. So I said every single month I would make a minimum payment of like $100 or something like that. Okay, does that sort of make sense? Okay, so yes, you have to pay the bill, but it doesn't always have to be like immediately and stuff like that. And another, talking about like advantages of a credit card, maybe if my phone broke today and I wanted to go get a new one today, I don't want to wait until I get paid next week. If I wanted to go buy one today, I could swipe my credit card and then I could wait until I get my paycheck like next week, and then I can go and pay that bill off all, like I can pay a credit card bill all in one. But maybe if I had to wait for my paycheck to hit my checking account, then I could do that as well. That's another perk of a credit card. Dancy?
So, like, do they give you like a date that you need to?
Again, it's sort of built into that minimum payment.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like that, yes.
Well, isn't that the same with like a car loan or like?
Yes. Yes. So car loans, house loans, student loans, those are all like big purchases, and you don't necessarily do it through a credit card. You just take out a loan with the company. But again, in order to take out loans that big, you have to have established some credit. That's why they look for, you hear about them looking at your credit score or something like that. Okay? They want to look at, yes, Credit Karma, yay, woo. They look into your credit score to see how reliable you are, because when you establish credit, you're assigned like a number. Okay, saying if it's a high number that you are very reliable, and if it's a low number, maybe not so reliable. So that's going to depend on the kind of like loan the amount of loans you're approved for is going to establish your credibility. Marcelo, yes. Peter?
What happens if you use the credit card and then you just pay it back? It doesn't just have such a high score because if you're using it.
No. Okay, it doesn't automatically go to the highest score. It just starts sort of gradually going up towards that score. But if you don't use your credit card like at all, it doesn't change your score. You have to take advantage of that. Like, it's okay to, a lot of people think that maxing out your credit card is bad. It is only bad when you don't pay off that loan. Because if you use it to its fullest amount and you pay it off, that's showing that you are able to pay off that large amount of money. So it's okay to max it out. It's as long as you pay it off in the amount of time. Does that help? Okay.
Wait, so if say that you have to pay like $200 for something for a debit card, once you swipe it, like $200 from your bank account will just like automatically go out. But for a credit card, you can like pay that money over the span of time.
Yep. So I could do like $20 a month, or $50 a month, or $100 a month, or you could pay the $200 just at the end of the month. Maybe you're just waiting for that paycheck to hit. Okay. Yeah. All right. So looking at, oh yes. It's just I think a lot of it, like, and there's like platinum cards, gold cards, green cards, whatever. Like, not green cards like when you're traveling, but like green credit cards. I think a lot of it has to deal with your spending limit. Like, if you have proven yourself like able to pay off $1,000, and then you can consistently pay off like $5,000. I think that might change the level. I believe that just changes your spending limits. Yes, and there's perks. So like with Southwest, if this is just the most common example that I know of. Like with the Southwest credit card, if you the way that they get people to use their company is they'll say, oh, if you use our credit card, we'll give you miles. Okay, we'll promise you miles, and you can exchange those miles for like a flight and stuff like that. And then again, like JCPenney might promise you this % off, or this company might promise you this or this, and that's how they get people to use their company. Okay, and then they make money off of that when you don't pay your bills on time, and they charge interest and stuff like that.
So you're saying if like an airline gives you like an added miles and stuff like
Yes. Okay.
wait, so then how do that at your bank, won't they charge you because it's not their debit card?
Repeat that.
Yeah. Like how do you use, like if you have a Southwest credit card and you have like a Bank of America bank, then
It's one of those things where you give Southwest or whatever permission to, like, you are sending them money. You're like, it's not a direct deposit, but you are depositing money. You are sending them a check from your account to that company, to like Southwest or whatever.
well, wait, does your bank charge you for not using their credit card?
No. And if they do, you probably leave that way.
So if you have a credit card, you're going to go to the ATM. Which one would you use, credit card or your debit card?
That's a great question. Let's look. So, can wait to pay in the future. That's going to be a
Credit card.
credit card. Can help build credit. Credit card. Can be used to pay at an ATM. Which do you think? Debit card. Okay. Money you already have. Debit card. Can be used to withdraw cash. Debit card. Okay? Because you can't take out money if you don't own that money. Okay. Go ahead and pause and record that down. Moving on to the disadvantages again of credit. Oops. Sorry. The disadvantages, this is debit and credit. Let's look at these choices. Extra fee if you spend more than you have.
Credit.
That's actually going to be debit. We're going to talk about a lot of these you might know, you might not know, and we're going to talk about all of them. Debt can add up quickly.
Credit.
Credit. Interest charged for unpaid bills.
Credit.
Limited to how much is currently in your account.
Debit.
And assigned a spending limit. Credit, okay? So while you're copying, again, I'm going to talk. So for debit, extra fee if you spend more than you have, okay? This is called a overdraft fee. Okay? So, like, say if I went to the grocery store, I only have $15 in my account, but what I'm buying costs $20. I go over by 5. The company will, like, the bank will be like, oh, it's okay, like, it's a small little amount. We'll pay you, we'll cover you that $5, but when you pay us back, it's not just going to be $5. We're going to charge you a fee on top of that. So it might be $7 that I have to pay back. Okay? Each bank has its own overdraft fees, and there's only so much that they will cover you for. Okay? They're not going to cover you $1,000 because that's ridiculous. Okay? That would be using your credit card. But again, with a debit card, they'll cover like small amounts sometimes. Okay? And then you are limited to how much is in your account. And again, like, you can't just go spending ridiculous amounts. Maybe if you're overdrawing by a little bit, they'll cover you. But for the most part, you are limited to what's in your account. Davisy.
That's like the average minimum they would.
I have no idea. I don't recklessly spend. Yes. Miss Lytle takes care of her money. She checks to make sure she is not spending every single penny. Because a lot of responsible adults do not have like $5 only in their account. Okay, they want to have they set up a cushion because they want to have in case anything happened, in case I got in a car accident or I suddenly got really sick. I want to have some sort of security, like some backup plan. So like I could pay for my medical bills, I could pay for my rent at my apartment in case something happened. Okay, so like my mom did a really good job of saying, nope, you can't spend until you have at least like this amount of money in your account, and that's you can't go like below here and above here and stuff like that. Yeah.
Is it like you have a bank account, like my parents, they have a bank account, but I asked them like, why don't you spend more than that?
Yeah.
They say like, I have this much money set aside for emergencies.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Emergencies is, again, getting in car accidents, getting sick, something unexpected happening. Peter.
So basically, sometimes you just have money just to have money.
It's not just to have money, it's for just in cases. Yes. Yes. If I had to, I'm trying to explain. In case I wasn't able to go to work for whatever reason, because if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. Okay, it's for those cases like if I did go to the hospital, I can't always work if I go to the hospital, right? Like you were in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines, and you can't always do something. So that amount of money is sort of set aside for security, like for safety stuff like that, to catch you if you fall. Ravon.
So my dad, one time he had like a key card, had used this
Yeah.
And then like
Interest.
actually ended up being a so then would you? I don't know if you guys would make that. Would you get your money back if it was off?
Yes. And that's, it depends on the situations, but most times, yes. If your credit card or debit card ever got stolen, and as long as you report it, like, fairly quickly, and you say, no, that wasn't me, no, that wasn't me, no, that wasn't me, they will refund you that money because you weren't spending it. And they'll cancel your card right then and there, and they'll send you a new one in the mail. Okay, a lot of companies are actually pretty good. I think it was this class we were talking about getting the text messages every time you, yeah. And so that is really helpful in those situations, because if it starts saying you charged this in California, this in Ohio and stuff, that's obviously not you if you're in Texas, and so they'll cancel your card. Peter?
You just go somewhere else.
Yes, and so what? Yes, and so they'll notify you if it's happening like really rapidly in different places. Okay, you can also call your banks ahead. Like if like when I went to Europe in college, I was going to be spending money over there because I was going to be buying, like souvenirs for my family and stuff like that, and I didn't want them to cancel a card while I was over there. So what you can do is you can call your banks ahead of time and say, hey, make some sort of note that if there's any charges over here, don't cancel my card, okay, or don't put a hold on my card. Addie. Because the transactions will show up on your bank account, on your check register or whatever, in your bank, so you can't just come up with non-existent charges. They can see.
What if someone actually steals your account? I mean, card?
Again, you report it, and as long as you do it pretty quickly, they'll refund you that money.
What if you do you do swipe the card and you buy these things, but you just lie that you didn't do it?
They have ways of checking that. Okay, we need to get on with the notes. We want to stop with what us right now. With credit cards, debt can add up quickly because it's not automatically getting taken out of your account. Okay, you might forget. Oh, I spent $400 and $300 and $200, and then all of a sudden it all gets taken out. That debt can add up quickly, and you can forget about it. So it's not always easy. Interest is charged again if you are late in paying your bills and you are assigned a spending limit because they want to control you to some extent. Okay, this last little bit, again, a charge that is used for a charge for the use of credit when the balance is not paid off is called
Credit card.
interest. A charge. Okay, so an example of calculating interest. A lot of times it is like this situation. Jack's recent credit card bill was $364. The credit card company charges 2% interest of the amount owed for each month the payment is late. How much interest will Jake owe if it's 1 month late? Okay, I've not taught you how to, but looking at this situation, how do you think I would, Saranya?
Okay, so you would find 2% of 364.
And how do I do that?
By second portion.
A proportion. Okay, and the 364 is going to go on the bottom. Because again, that 2%, if you were going to put labels, this is talking about my interest. And I'm trying to find what that amount is out of 364. Okay, this is why we teach proportions, because it's not just useful for one thing. I use it for sales tax. I can use it for ratios. I can use it for interest. Okay, lots of things. There's a couple of ways you could get there. You can do divided by 50, or we could do 3.64. I'm going to do the multiplication one because I can. And again, we're going to multiply that by 2. Okay, so again, that 728 is talking about the 2%. This is money. This is my interest. Okay, so that's how much I would owe if it's 1 month late. But how much will I owe in all? How would I figure that out, Jamesy?
You add that to the cost of the actual bill, and then everything would total.
Exactly. You would add that to the owed amount because interest is on top. It's another additional charge. And so you would end up owing more. And that's why you don't want to pay late, because it builds up. You end up owing more than you originally planned. Okay? Last couple of things. Determine the effects of using a debit or a credit card. So we're going to compare them. Debit versus a credit card. Okay, Anna needs to pay a fee to participate in a soccer league. The fee is $25 and she has that much in her checking account. If she were to use a debit account, sort of explain what's going to happen. Marcelo.
So money would be just directly subtracted.
Okay, so the money immediately. I like withdrawn. That's a vocabulary word. Okay, it's immediately withdrawn, and then we could calculate that new balance. Okay, how would we figure that out?
Equals the original cost,
122.50 minus $25.
Yeah, that original, like Amicy said, minus, Geronimo was helping us out, minus that cost. Okay, 5. So my new balance would be $97.50. That's if I use a debit card. If I were to use a credit card, what's going to happen? Sid, what's going to happen?
You're gonna have to pay the bank back. Like your money will come out of your credit card, but you're still gonna have to pay the bank
Or
back with interest.
money taken out. I'm going to say money taken out later. Will I automatically get charged interest? No, that's only if it's late. Okay, last little bit is this, a quick little check. Interest is charged if the amount is not fully repaid. It's talking about
Credit
credit. What is the key word in that?
Interest.
Interest. When a purchase is made, money is immediately removed. Debit, keyword. Immediately or keywords. Okay. Has an assigned spending limit. Okay. Allows you to buy something now and pay for it in the future. Credit. Okay, the future. Okay. So with the test card, again, this is not on it, but I still want you to work on this. Maybe do a couple problems tonight and do the rest tomorrow night after the test. These are really good questions.